Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step right up as we send you into a time machine and travel back to the swinging 60s. The year is 1960, the music is groovy, the fashion is bold, and motorsport is alive and thriving. For an unforgettable weekend, we're turning back the clock to celebrate an era of style, speed, and spectacular racing action that is treasured, but not often relived. Dust off the old plaid and corduroy, gather your friends and family, and immerse yourself in a world of classic charm, roaring engines, and nostalgic fun. Whether you're a mod, a rocker, or simply young at heart, there's something for everyone to enjoy. So slick back your hair, shine those dancing shoes, and join us as we relive the magic of a decade that changed the world, and an era of motorsport so legendary you cannot afford to miss again. Expect iconic machinery such as classic modified saloon cars, golden era superbikes, vintage sports cars, and historic Grand Prix racers. Only at Killarney's AG capital Cape Grand Prix Revival from the 5th through the 7th of February 2027. Catch you on the strip, cool cats.
All roads lead to Cape Town's new Killarney circuit for the 1960 International Cape Grand Prix. In workshops overseas in Rhodesia and South Africa, tremendous skill, precision and effort have been lavished on bringing the cars to peak performance. But until they're called upon to give their maximum effort, they're handled carefully and gently like something fragile and precious. Today's race has a top-class international flavor, for some of the world's greatest drivers are taking part, notably Stirling Moss of Great Britain, Baron von Trips of Germany, the bearded Joachim Bonnier of Sweden, while Holland is represented by Count Godin de Beaufort, a formidable challenge to the South African and Rhodesian drivers. Then there are the pit crews, the Porsche team under the production manager, Baron von Hanstein. Behind-the-scenes services are supplied by the Royal Automobile Club, while St. John Ambulance stands by in case of emergency. There's also a completely equipped mobile workshop. Perfectly organized, the Grand Prix fired the public imagination, and 40,000 people made a day of it, improvising all sorts of vantage places to see a wonderful race. As 0 hour for the Grand Prix approached, mechanics were still adding the last-minute touches to gain that extra shade of performance. Under the grueling strain of a 150-mile motor race, nothing can be left to chance. And while the backroom boys worked, streamlined drum majorettes provided the window display. The cars began to assemble on the track, each having been allowed to complete a warming-up circuit. One by one, they took their positions on the dummy grid, where final adjustments could still be made prior to moving forward to the starting grid. The positioning of the cars is decided by the fastest lap times in practice runs. Mr. S. Chapini, clerk of the course, gives the drivers a final briefing on the rules and procedures governing the race. Rigid overtaking rules are essential, especially with different classes of cars in the same event. Rhodesian hopes centered round John Love as the main challenge to the driving mastery of Stirling Moss, while South Africa's best chances lie with Sid van der Faber. The 22 cars move to the starting grid. Based on practice lap times, the front cars are left to right, Von Trips in a Lotus F2, number 11, Joe Bonnier driving a Porsche, and number 7, Stirling Moss in another Porsche. First bend after the start is Hole's Hook, a fairly fast bend to the left. As was to be expected, the overseas contingent with the best starting positions were fighting it out for the lead. Down Joubert Straight and into Quarry Corner, Baron von Trips, car number 5, is the first around, closely followed by Stirling Moss, number 7, and Joe Bonnier. There are 75 laps of the 2-mile course to go as they head down towards Damp's Dip. Madame Bonnier checks her husband's performance as he battles with Sterling Moss for the lead. Out of Malmesbury Sweep and into the Killarney Straight. The leaders are gaining fast and the rest of the field is spread out. Soon, Sterling Moss begins to lap some of the slower cars. Stopwatch in hand, Madame Bonnier sees her husband challenged by Von Trips. Of the local drivers, number 16, Sid van der Faber, is providing stiff opposition, while Darby Close, Bill Jennings and Bruce Johnson are lapping well. Taking the Malmesbury Sweep at speed, Von Trips swings out wide, hitting the soft shoulder and sending a flurry of sand onto the track. But the race goes on, the faster cars lapping at nearly 80 miles an hour and reaching top speeds of 125 miles an hour on the straights. The timekeepers struggle to pass on accurate information about the progress of every car in the race. Moss heads Bonnier round Malmesbury Sweep, and that dust, first kicked up by Von Trips, is proving a tricky hazard. The two Porsches are way out in the lead, going superbly, and any signals from the pits to other drivers to cram on the speed are not likely to have much effect. In fact, the main interest in the race was now focused on the Sterling Moss-Joe Bonnier duel. Could the numbers 7 and 11 have any significance as two superb drivers dice with death? Now it's Bonnier slightly ahead of Moss with a magnificent display of driving as they flash through the sand strip on the Malmesbury Sweep again. Meanwhile, number 23, John Love of Rhodesia, is having an eventful run. His Cooper Maserati is giving him trouble and he leaves the track for an urgent pit stop. After some good work in the pits, John Love re-enters the race, though with some apprehension as to his car's performance. But there's a prize even for finishing. Returning to the great duel at the head of the field, Bonnier still has a slight lead on Moss. They were setting a cracking pace, with the lead changing hands frequently. And a real thrill came with Moss in the lead and Von Trips trying to break through in the center. The new Killarney circuit is remarkably good, both from the racing and the spectators' points of view. Thousands saw John Love in serious trouble. A magnificent race sweeps to its spectacular climax. 150 miles covered in less than 2 hours, and wheel to wheel, Bonnier and Moss are fighting it out. Never has a race been more closely contested. A crowd of 40,000 is spellbound, and the high drama enacted here is being relayed throughout southern Africa. And it's Sterling Moss a few feet ahead of Bonnier with Von Trips third. Well, what a magnificent race, with Sterling Moss of Great Britain clinching it so narrowly from his Swedish rival Joachim Bonnier. On hand to congratulate him for covering so much ground in such a short time was the Minister of Lands, Mr. Paul Sauer. To these congratulations were added those of Miss South Africa, Denise Muir, and Moss demonstrated that during the race and after, his clutch was in excellent working order. In his moment of triumph, Moss made a fine sporting gesture, seeking out and congratulating Joe Bonnier, who had given him such a wonderful race. Bonnier could well be proud, for in the race of a lifetime, he had bowed only to the finest driver in the world today.